Good, happy Thursday morning. Is Thursday, August 18, 2022. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Thursday morning, right here on the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Thursday morning, so let's get started right now. First up, State Farm surprises Blue Ocean Society with grant to help with marina conservation. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Ocean Society just received a $2,500 grant from State Farm to help pay for beach cleanups in New Hampshire. The society has been removing trash from New England beaches since 2001. As of 2021, the volunteers have held more than 200 events, and they say they've collected almost 4,000 pounds of debris, which is so cool to see.
Absolutely.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Beagles rescued from Virginia facility, now in New Hampshire, to find homes. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
The $6 your way deal at Burger King is a triple win. Your choice of a bacon double cheeseburger or a rodeo double cheeseburger. Win. Plus fries? Win.
Some of these beagles are just puppies. They arrived here at the New Hampshire SPCA. They'll stay in quarantine for 48 hours before starting the process of finding loving homes.
It's just a tragedy to have a life in a lab and not be in a home.
7 beagles now in New Hampshire with a future full of love ahead after being rescued from a facility that housed 4,000 dogs in Virginia to sell to labs for experimentation.
It's hard. It's tragic. And you look at these little faces and they're so sweet. And you just want to love them up and you think, that they were going to be in a kennel, that they were going to be subjected to testing. I'm just so happy that they're not.
Many of the dogs tattooed on the inside of the ear, a way of identifying them by a number during testing. That number will turn into a name chosen carefully by a loving family.
All of these dogs will just have such a brighter future, so I'm really excited.
The New Hampshire SPCA has an emergency placement partnership with the Humane Society of the United States that helped bring the dogs to the Granite State. After being spayed and neutered, the process to find their forever family will begin.
They're going to get to lie on a couch or a bed and get snuggled and kissed on, and they're really sweet.
The New Hampshire SPCA tells me they don't yet know if more beagles will be sent their way, but they say if the opportunity comes up, they are ready and willing to help these sweet puppies find new homes. In Stratham, Marissa Tansino, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New Hampshire health officials report 2 new COVID-19 deaths. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Here are the latest COVID numbers for New Hampshire. State announcing 318 new cases today with 2 new deaths. Hospitalizations down slightly to 96. 19 of those patients receiving COVID-specific treatment.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Manchester police arrest man 3 hours after trying to serve arrest warrant. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
A suspect now in custody tonight, 3 hours after Manchester police tried to serve a search warrant SWAT officers and crisis negotiators called to the area of Maple and Merrimack Streets tonight after he refused to turn himself in. He surrendered a short time ago, and police are now reopening the nearby streets.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Pence in New Hampshire, former VP won't rule out testifying before January 6th committee if called. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell saying a federal abortion ban is possible.
Access to care here could be threatened. Don Bolduc, Chuck Morse, and Kevin Smith would all vote for a nationwide abortion ban. Don't let them make abortion illegal in New Hampshire.
If ever any formal invitation rendered to us, we'd give it due consideration, but my first obligation is to continue to uphold my oath.
Political science professor Chris Galdieri, who was at the event, said the remarks weren't designed as an applause line, but did have an intended audience.
I think Pence is really trying to split the difference between trying to appeal to Trump supporters, appeal to the folks who voted for Trump and Pence in 16 and 20, but also present himself as a more mainstream Republican.
And with that answer, Galdieri says Pence, who spent the day crisscrossing the Granite State, gave himself the ability to navigate both sides of that equation as he considers a run in 2024. But Galdieri says it wouldn't be unprecedented for a vice president or former VP to testify to a congressional committee.
I also thought, that part of his remarks was a bit odd because he's no longer part of the executive branch. He's a private citizen, and Congress can subpoena private citizens.
He says it's happened before. And he points out other high-ranking administration officials, like Bill Barr, have already testified.
So it could be kind of a freebie to say he'd be willing to talk to them because he knows that so far they haven't really expressed much of an interest in that.
For his part, the former vice president telling WMUR political director Adam Sexton in a one-on-one interview,
I think the American people can make their own judgment about what happened that day. And I think most Americans have.
One final point from the professor tonight. He says, keep in mind, if Republicans recapture the House come November, which he says the odds favor at this point, the January 6th committee would be dissolved in January of next year, eliminating the need for Pence to even have to consider testifying.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Federal report on Seabrook false alarm couldn't be released by end of September. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
News 9 Investigates has new details tonight on the federal report into the false alarm at Seabrook's nuclear power plant. It could be made public by the end of September. An inspector with the Nuclear Regulatory Commission is at the facility this week. The plant already did its own review, finding that human error set off 10 of the 121 alarms. Changes are already being made to staffing, training, and communication, but one executive counselor says the entire system needs to be upgraded.
And there's still a lot of unrest, a lot of concern, a lot of fear, and a lot of worry, despite the fact that Seabrook assured Seabrook officials that they will be going in on a quarterly basis to meet with them.
Counselor Janet Stevens would like to see the plant install what's known as iPause, which she says works like an Amber Alert.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Okay, so we'll have to see and wait, and hopefully it'll be released by the end of September. Boston City.
We're cutting down to when shuttle buses.
Boston City leaders discuss Orange Line shutdown in Chinatown on Wednesday night. Let's take a listen to that video from WHDH 7 News, Boston.
Replace trains for an entire month. But the buses won't stop. Enough is being done to let people know other ways to get around. A community meeting was held tonight in Chinatown, and the 19th Geek Event was there live with the shutdown just 2 days away now.
Well, Ryan, these flyers, they were passed out at tonight's meeting. They're in different languages, and they tell people about the upcoming Orange Line shutdown. This comes as city leaders work around the clock to get ready for it. The city of Boston teaming up with the MBTA at a public meeting in Chinatown aimed at easing the pain of the Orange Line closure amid deep frustration.
You didn't have Chinatown in mind when you made up this information. You didn't have Chinatown in mind when you turned around and came up with the plan on where the shuttle buses are going to be.
Initially, the MBTA said Chinatown was one of 4 stops on the Orange Line that won't have shuttle buses. But now, Mayor Michelle Wu confirms the city is working with the T to add a shuttle bus stop in the Chinatown neighborhood.
This community is seen and heard and needs to be part of the planning, and so we're very glad that they have responded to the concerns that have been elevated by City Council, the state legislature, and so many of our partners here at the city.
To soften the blow of the shutdown, the MBTA also plans to add a stop on the Silver Line at the surface artery at Newland Street stop. Right now, there are only signs in English at T stations that direct riders where to go when the Orange Line closes. Signs in other languages have not been put up. However, Mayor Wu says they're taking steps to do that at shuttle bus stops.
There will be sandwich boards. There will be sandwich boards at each subway stop, or at each shuttle bus stop. There will be sandwich boards in different languages, as well as staff on the ground who can help guide and facilitate folks to the shuttle buses and help get their bearings.
But other action is being taken.
We need to communicate effectively in Cantonese, in Mandarin. A lot of our seniors don't have access to the internet, unfortunately. A lot of it will be door knocking, providing some brochures to them.
However, some say it's a little too late.
I am not satisfied with this last minute stuff, and I'm just about fed up with it. I'm tired of the politicians that know that Chinatown has an issue, and we always have to scream and holler, or it has to be a lawsuit, or it has to be a major incident before something's done.
And the mayor is asking for everyone's patience during the shutdown, especially during the first couple of days. We're live in Boston tonight. Kiki Menzel, 7 News 19.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Giuliani testifies in front of Georgia special grand jury investigation into the 2020 election. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
With Canva, we design videos together. Easy.
Trim this.
Tweak that.
And that's a wrap.
What will you design today? Start designing for free at canva.com.
Late today, Rudy Giuliani under oath before a special grand jury in Atlanta. Prosecutors have told the man once known as America's mayor that he is the target of their criminal investigation into potential criminal meddling in the 2020 presidential election in the state of Georgia. So ABC's Steve Osunsami tonight at the Fulton County Courthouse in Georgia.
Mr. Giuliani, when you met with Georgia lawmakers, did you lie to them?
This was not a trip to Georgia.
We will not talk about this until it's over.
That Rudy Giuliani wanted to make. The man they once called America's mayor, who has defined his reputation these last few years with lies about the 2020 election, was put under oath today in this Georgia courthouse, where he's the one suspected of trying to help steal the vote. He was called here by a special grand jury investigating claims that former President Trump and his friends tried to change the election results in Georgia so that Trump could win. And there's tape. While testifying before state lawmakers, Giuliani made false claims about election fraud, including comments that didn't sit well with black election workers.
They look like they're passing out dope, not just ballots. It is quite clear they're stealing votes.
He famously claimed that this video showed Fulton County election workers producing suitcases of illegal ballots, charges that were investigated and proven false by state Republicans. Those same election workers told the January 6th committee that people started threatening to kill them. This investigation here could stretch for months and will lead to a report. It would take another grand jury to decide if anyone faces charges. U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham has been called to appear, but he's fighting it. The governor of Georgia has also been called to appear, but he's fighting it too. And then there's the person at the center of this, the former president, who could also be called. David?
Steve Ostensami live in Georgia tonight. Thank you, Steve.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. That does it for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Have a great day, everyone, and goodbye.